Hi YouTube, here is my Dyson DC40 Animal, and as promised in the unboxing video that I did of this, I said that I'd do an overview / demo of it, so here we are. And also, just as sort of a heads up, if you hear any background noise, then that is my next door neighbour. They appear to be doing some work on their house, or they've got some workmen in or something, because they appear to be having a good bang next door. I mean, I can hear some quite loud banging and clattering, so I haven't got a clue what they're doing or what they're up to, but I think I'd rather not know, to be honest. But anyway, moving back onto the Dyson. I have been using this every day, and it's been a right trooper. I've been using it as my daily cleaner, and aside from the bin looking a bit sandblasted, which happens, they always get scratched because of the vortex effect from the cyclones, but I mean, it's still looking pretty new, and I do take care of my things, so you know, it doesn't have the scratches and things on it like it probably would do by now if it was just owned by a general consumer. But anyway, I have put this through its paces, and it is a really good vacuum cleaner. Dyson have changed tremendously over the last year or two, and their products have really improved. They're a lot better than ever really now. So I would say that I would recommend Dyson products now. If you would have asked me that 5 years ago, I would have said no, because they were loud. They weren't very good, to be quite honest, and they were just horrible. They were bulky and sort of just awkward to use. But these are quite a joy to use, really. They're quiet, and they're very nice to use and convenient. So yeah, I really think they've come a long way, Dysons, but they're still flimsy. Which I think they should need to work on, really, and make the plastic less flimsy. I know it's robust, but it needs. I feel like it needs to feel solid when you use it, because of the way you twist and turn the handle for the ball action. The handle does tend to flex a lot, as you can see, and I don't like that. It feels like the handle's moving more than the actual ball does. But it is pretty manoeuvrable, and it's quite easy to use. So I'll give you a look over the machine now. So the new DC40s and 41s, that's the DC41 Mark II, in 2015, currently, this is quite new to these machines, they changed the cleaner head. It's got a different brush roll, and it's also got this normal and maximum setting on the front here. The brush roll bristles are a lot better. They're closer together and stiffer than something like the DC25, which the brush roll on that's just awful, in my opinion. It's got stiff bristles, but they must be about ½ centimetre apart, the brushes, and that's just ridiculous. In my view, anyway, and they have the DC25 has a lot of track marks in the sole plate. Not track marks. What do you call them? Those little spacers in between, which stops things getting wrapped around the brush roll. But they did away with that on these newer ball models, and the brush roll bristles are closer together, which is a lot better in my opinion. And it does agitate the carpet very well, and it cleans very well, which is good. So, of course, the brush roll itself has its own motor, and apparently this motor in here is supposed to be more powerful than the ones that they used on the original DC40 and 41s, because I think, as I just stated, this cleaner head is completely new for this year. The older DC40 and 41 had a different cleaner head to this. It looks similar, but it didn't have this little dial on front. And as I said, the motor inside here is supposed to be more powerful. If I just tilt it back here, hopefully it's going to lean and there and stay. Right. It's got the little switch on here, and it's set on normal at the minute. And I thought this would be similar to like an Electrolux 560, where it has a little dial on top of the cleaner head, and when you set it to normal, it opens a little valve and lets some suction out, and we set it on max, it closes the valve again. But this isn't the same as that. It's basically a little squeegee. You can just about see it there on the sole plate. This is the active base plate here, moves up and down. And when you set this from the dot to max, as you can see, it brings this squeegee down, and that's supposed to seal all the suction in when you push it forward and pull it back. And it really does. It does stick to the floor a lot more when this squeegee is put down. But I find it's difficult to manoeuvre and hard to push, so I generally leave it on normal, which retracts it like that, and it still sticks to the floor very much. But it just makes it that much easier to manoeuvre. So while we're in this area, I suppose I'll show you the brush roll itself and tilt it back here. So this is the brush roll. It's in two sections, and you can actually remove these brush roll sections to clean them, but you have to unscrew 2 screws on each side of the end caps to remove the brush roll from its housing, which is a little bit awkward and time consuming, but I mean, it's easy enough to just cut any hair or threads that wrap around that off while it's still in the machine. And you can actually get access to this under the base plate. These little red switches, where are they? There they are. You just flick them out like that. There's one on either side. Like that. And then the sole plate hinges. It used to come off completely, the sole plate, on the older DC40 and 41s, but the DC41 Mark II and the 2015 DC40s have this new cleaner head, and the base plate hinges like this. I mean, it does come off, but you have to unscrew it to remove it, so it's just the way they've done it. I don't know why, but anyway, so you can get access to the brush roll there, or if you need to unclog anything, if something gets blocked in here, and that's easy enough to click shut again, like that. And there's also little velvet strips here around the sides and bottom of the sole plate to help with fibre pickup, and also to help it glide along the carpet and hard floor surface. There's 4 wheels, little ones. There's one there, one there, one there, and one there. Again, that helps it glide across the floor. There's also a little wheel on the brush roll there, so sorry, that makes 5. And as you can hear, very, very stiff, aggressive bristles. It almost hurts your hand to move your finger across those, but they're very stiff bristles, and they do a very good job. Only 1 row of them though, as you can see, but at least they're close together, and they do a good job at picking up hairs and grit and things like that. As you can see though, the bristles don't go very close to the edge. It stops there. On this side it doesn't go that close either. That's about it. But you've also got these little things on the edge which I suppose would help pick up crumbs and things at the edges. So here's the base plate. This is what they call the active base plate, and as you can see it's on these bellows here, and it springs up and down like that, sort of contours to any shape, so it's in constant contact with the carpet or hard floor type, and you're having the suction sealed in completely, and you're getting the most use out of the brush roll here, because if you have an uneven floor, this will sort of pivot in any, it's hard to show you really with just one hand, but it will pivot backwards and forwards to whatever type of floor you have, whether it's bumpy or thin pile, thick, hard floors. It'll self-adjust to it, and that's good. So there's no dials to adjust. But that's that. So if you want to remove this clean head at all, you just pull this red clip off here completely, and then the clean head just pulls off. And to put it back on, you have to attach this red clip back onto the clean head itself, and then line it back up and click it in place, should you need to replace that. They've done away with the ball altogether, because Dyson decided to put the ducting inside the ball. So it's basically two spherical shells on a fixed ball shape, if that makes any sense. So it's only these two outside edges that revolve, this centre part doesn't, whereas on the older ball models the whole ball moved. But I mean, they couldn't really make the entire ball move on these ones, because as I said, the ducting's all inside and it wouldn't work properly. So this is the best way they've done it, and it still works as the ball models would do, exactly the same. And they do meet quite close together in the middle, as you can see. If you need to unblock anything in the ducting that comes from the nozzle, there's a little tube here which basically just pulls out. It's not clicked in place or anything, it just pulls out like that, sort of on a spring loaded type thing, because it's quite a short hose which keeps it in place, but you have to be careful you don't lose it inside. Anyway, you can just feel about in there if there's any blockages, then that just slots. You just sort of pull it up and push it back in place, it just slots in like that. There's no kickstand for the to release the stability wheels at the back here, and basically to release it you just push down so it clicks like that, and as you pull back the handle those wheels retract, and then you're completely free to float on the ball to go wherever you want. And to stand it up again you just push it, not pull it, until they push themselves down again, and it clicks like that. It does allow you to lean it back to move it to other areas. Just make sure you don't push down on the handle while you're doing this, otherwise it will release the back wheels there. So, but you can push it around like that to transport it to a cupboard or something like that to put it away. So, moving up, here we have the ducting that takes the dirt from either the hose or the floor head into the bin. We take the bin off, which is just released by the red button there, and we see the other ducting which goes straight down to the motor. And on all other Dysons there would be a tube of ducting coming up to the top on the opposite side of where the dirt comes into the bin, and the suction from the motor would come from a ducting up here, and it would be at the top of the cyclone. But they've changed it on these new models, and this is the way it is now, unless you can still get hold of a 25. But all the other new ball models and uprights have this suction coming from the bottom here, and that is supposed to improve airflow and give maximum efficiency for the cyclones, because it gives even suction around them. with it coming from the centre at the bottom of the bin. And it seems to be a good thing, it seems to work okay. So here's the bin. You use the same button to release the bin from the machine that you do to empty it. So it's very hygienic for a bagless. You just press it and the bin opens like that. When you've got the bin open, if you need to remove the cyclone from the actual bin, you just press that little grey button there and that releases the bin from the cyclone assembly and you can give that a clean. Under here, this tab is the pre-motor filter, which is housed directly through the cyclone, and that's washable. You're supposed to wash that every month. Pretty efficient, the cyclones on this machine. There's 12 altogether, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 12. So it uses radial root cyclone technology. Not the latest. The latest is kinetic technology, which uses, it doesn't have a pre-motor filter. These tips of the cyclone are little rubber fingers and it oscillates and vibrates really quickly, which apparently eliminates the need for a pre-motor filter. But that's that anyway. So on the bin goes onto there again. Quite a small capacity, doesn't hold a lot, but it's adequate for most medium to large size houses. The DC40 holds slightly more than this, probably about half a litre more, but not that much more. So what else can we show you? So here are the controls. You have here the big red one is the on-off button. Then on this side is the brush roll on-off. The brush roll will turn itself off when you stand it upright, but this button you can use to turn it on and off for either carpets or hard floors, or if you have delicate rugs and things like that. Helpline is right on top there, well on the handle, so if you need to know what the number is or how to contact them, it's all there, so it's easy to find. You've got a nice curved handle there, comfortable to hold. It's got a nice cap to cover the wand when the hose is not being used. So here's the cord at the back. The cord hook at the top swivels like that and releases the cord. It's a 7 metre, or 7.5 metre rather, cord. So it's not the longest, but it's not the shortest. Nice cable protection there. So the lower hook is at the base there. It doesn't revolve, but the top one does. So to use the hose and wand, you just flip up the cap, then just lift up. You can use the cord hook to hold it with, and just pull it out like that. And with any luck, the hose will lock into the base of the handle there. If it doesn't, just give it a pull with your other hand until you hear it click into place. And you can use the hose with the wand like that, with the tools on the end. Speaking of the tools, the onboard tools you get on the DC40 and 41 are this 2-in-1 crevice tool and dusting brush. Use it like that as a crevice tool, and then you slide this brush up so it clicks in place, and that's your dusting brush. Very nice soft splayed bristles, so if you to lay that flat it will get nicely under things. Dyson do a large soft dusting brush which is very good, but I haven't got one of those, and I think I'll buy one at some point. The other tool you get is the all-purpose or upholstery nozzle, also known as a stair tool. It's got a nice lint picker on the back there. There used to be one on the top as well on other older Dysons, that had this type of upholstery tool, but they've done away with the top one. It just has one at the bottom now, but it's still a very efficient and good tool. And the tools click into place on either the end of the hose or the wand, like this, as you can hear. And to release it, you just press the button in and pull it off. You do get an additional tool with this model, which is the animal version, and that is the new tangle-free turbine head. I haven't really used this a whole lot. I don't really care for turbo nozzles, to be honest. I don't like the noise of them. I think they're far too loud, and they don't really do that better of a job than a regular upholstery nozzle. But anyway, I just like the colour of the animal, that's why I went for that one. But this is supposed to not tangle, because the heads turn opposite to each other, so the bristles on the edges of these little rubber spinning disc things are supposed to pick up fibres and hairs and things like that and bring it into the centre of where the suction's coming from, but not tangle hairs and threads and things with like a traditional one that has one rotating brush. So it's a good tool. I mean, it's good for thin fabrics like cushions and dog bedding and things like that, because it's got the little vent on top which lets the suction out a little bit, and it doesn't stop the brushes turning. Like most turbo brushes, if you use it on like a cushion or something, the brushes will stop rotating, but these don't. So in that respect, it's a very good turbo brush, but I just don't really use them because I'm not that much of a fan of them. So it has a little sort of similar action to the upright base plate. As you can see, it moves like that. It's a good turbo brush, but that tends to not get used, as I said. So like I said, you can use the hose without the wand. You just press this little red catch at the bottom here, and the hose comes off the wand. And that's that. And to put the hose back in onto the machine, of course you want the cord hook facing out. You just press the button with it against the machine. It should just fall into place, or you can guide it down, but I tend to just do this like that, and it goes into place straight away. Close the cap and pop the tools back on. Like that. So I think that's all there is to... Oh, hang on. There's something else I can show you. To access the post motor filter, which is the HEPA filter on the exhaust of the machine, it's located on the left side of the ball. If you were stood behind the machine, it'd be the left side. And you just turn this little purple disc thing anti-clockwise, or counter-clockwise if you're American, and until it's loose, and lift it off. You see these two arrows. You just turn it a quarter twist till it unlocks like that, and just lift it off. And you can wash this one as well, and this one is recommended to be washed every month as well. To put it back on, you sort of put the arrows staggered and sort of twist it into place until it clunks like that. And then of course you want all these filters to be dry for at least 24 hours, both the pre-motor and post-motor filters, before you put them back into the machine. So once you put the post-motor filter back in, you just tighten this up clockwise until it gets quite tight. Then you wait to hear for the 3 clicks like that, and that's locked in place. And the last thing I'll show you before I show it in action is how well it will reach up the stairs. A bit messy here, but that's the way my house is, unfortunately. So of course I'm just going to use the hose with the wand on and go up the stairs. Sorry it's a bit dark, but we'll just see how far we can get. Right, so the hose is stretched out to its comfortable full extent, and as you can see that's as far as we're going to get with just the hose there at the end. With the wand you might get an extra step or two, but I mean it's not convenient really, it's not very nice to have to stretch that all the way up there, because it will stretch, but I mean it's pulling the machine to the side, so it's just not very nice really to use. So for stair cleaning it doesn't cut the mustard really. You can get about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stairs with that, but not the full 13 as a standard UK flight is. Let's just pop this back in. There are extension hoses available to clean stairs, but I mean it's not really convenient, is it, to go and find another hose. The DC40 might reach right to the top of the stairs, but I could be wrong. Just plug this in here. So I remember a time when Dysons used to reach right to the top of the stairs, but they don't seem to do that anymore. But never mind. It's light enough to carry up the stairs anyway. So I'm just going to put some couscous down here. I've already shown this being picked up with this machine before in another video, but why not show it again? It's not rationed, is it? So anyway, actually I put some over at the edge as well. See how well we do on edge cleaning. There we go, that'll do. Shift this turbo power out of the way. It wants to be featured in the video for some reason. So anyway, before my light fades completely, because it's 10 to 5 in the afternoon here. So anyway, here we go. Very good agitation on this machine. So there we go. Not the best at edge cleaning, but I've seen worse. It did get it all up in the end. So that's it really. So of course, to empty the bin, as I said, you just press the same button to release the bin off the machine. Of course, do this over a bin or in a bag. In a bag, yes. No, but anyway. And there you go, that's empty. You do have to give it a shake to clear these little protrusions there. Oh, it's a good word, protrusion, isn't it? Anyway, that's it. So, hope you enjoyed this half-an-hour long video. But there we are. There's my Dyson DC40. Thanks for watching.